Live.
Woohoo!
So we'll give it a second to get going. Looks like we're live. If you can open up the Flagler Voice Facebook page, see if we're live there. In a minute, we will start the show. Takes a minute. Hopefully everything is good because I have no idea. All right. So, think it's live?
Why is it not showing up on my thing?
It says live.
There we go. It says live.
It says live. We're live.
Yeah.
Okay. This is now named the Chrissy and Will Show. So good evening, everybody. It's hopefully right about 7 p.m. Monday night. We're going to start the Chrissy and Will Show. This is a great show tonight. I think the topic about the FPC football game is going to be a really hot one. So, but first, the sponsor. And welcome back. The sponsor tonight, of course, is Transformation Fitness. And so I don't get it wrong, their phone number is 386-793-7778. And they're located at 1070 Palm Coast Parkway, Suite 6. And Chrissy, take off.
Good evening, everyone. I have Will to my right, and this is Jonathan. He's gonna Jonathan, you want to tell him a little bit about yourself?
How you guys doing? My name is Jonathan Robinson. I'm from the Palm Coast area, from the B section. I went to FPC, graduated 2007. I was a part of the first FPC class that ever won the district championship at FPC. We had the #1 defense in Flagler, Volusia County. We had a really good offense too. Shout out my boy Jimmy Wilkes. He was the #1 receiver in the area. As a more recent, Marcus Mitchell Jr., that's my nephew. His dad, Marcus Mitchell Sr., was my best friend. We lived together, worked together, got our CDLs together and stuff like that. And that was my brother. I loved him, you know. And we grew up together, played FPC together. We both played college football, not at the same school, but we both did. I went with our other brother, Jimmy. So, you know, his father, he passed away in a tragic motorcycle accident, and we all just became a close family. And, you know, Brittany, his mother, I went to preschool with her at United Methodist Christian over by the library in the B section.
Yeah.
So I've known their family forever. Like, his dad, Marcus, had him with his mom their junior year of high school. So Marcus Mitchell Jr. was actually like in the locker room during our district championship. We're like passing him around.
So cool.
He's hanging out with him. He ride the bus with us when he's like 1 and 2 years old. I babysitted him and stuff like that. So that's my nephew. I love him, you know, and
I bet he's making his dad proud by breaking all of his records, and I think he was the #1 rusher in the area, correct?
definitely. He broke all
Yeah.
the records. He holds all the records. He's like the #3 running back in the state right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just really proud of him. And this is a really historic season. The quarterback, shout out to him. He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
And he's #1 in the area. He's killing it in the touchdown records. Only has 1 interception. Broke the records on everything at FPC too.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing season. So kind of have it stripped away the way that it did in this way. It's just, I feel like it's going to have a ripple effect really over the next, because they could have gone really far in the playoffs. All they needed was 1 extra yard. They're already killing it. And they could have gotten a little bit closer, kicked the field goal, you know, so it's just going to change the trajectory of a lot of those kids' lives, you know, where let's say this quarterback could have gotten more stats in the next game to maybe break Florida State records and stuff. Even win or lose the next game, he still would have gotten those yards. Same with Marcus. He was, in this game, he needed 167 yards and 2 touchdowns to be at 5,000 yards for his whole career, 2,000 yards on the season. He had 40 yards over a whole career. So he got 3 touchdowns and he threw for a touchdown, but they called it back. I feel like the refs were against him the whole game.
Yeah. So were you at the game?
I was at the game.
You're at the game because I
Yes.
watched it on the TV and I watched everything, and I wanted to know your take on it because I thought the officiating was kind of horrible the entire game on both sides.
I agree. And I was talking to the refs, and it was crazy. I was talking to the other team because I was kind of talking trash on both sidelines. I went on one side, talked to them in the first half.
Because you're
then
friends with the Creek side too, so a lot of mutual friends.
So, yeah, it runs deep. Your friend Mark Jones. Shout out
Yeah.
to Mark Jones. Shout out Cody Pelliser. You know,
He's
shout
one
out.
of the best lineman coach in the area. My son loves Mark.
Yeah, I love them boys over there. You know, so I got a lot of love for Creek. My other brother, Ellie Hippolyte, he went to FPC for 3 years. Then he went to Spruce Creek, and he did well over there. And then he actually beat FPC when he was at Creek. But, you know, it's just a rivalry that runs
Well,
deep.
and that's
so.
the thing. It's a rivalry game, so you would think that, you know, it's going to be heated on both sides. So, but yeah, since the start of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, the officiating is not up to par tonight. I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, and so it's funny because I said in the stands, I was like, I thought this was a home game.
Yeah.
Where did they get these refs from?
Yeah.
Like,
They came from
they gotta be
Lakeland.
from Daytona.
They came from Lakeland, actually, and they're part of the FHSA. They came from the Lakeland area, from what I read in the Observer.
Lakeland area.
But Orlando.
No, I know where
Yeah,
that is.
yeah,
I'm
past
just,
Orlando,
I'm
actually.
just trying to put the 2 and 2 together and see like where's Spruce Creek, if there's any ties.
Yeah, no.
back to that area.
Right, I was thinking that.
That's
Yeah.
what we're trying to
You know,
figure out too, because
where's
you
it
know,
at?
yeah, going back to the play we're talking about in the last 19 seconds of the game, the score was 36-35, correct? Or 35?
The final score was 36-35.
Yeah, it was 36-35 at that time, and we had, and FPC had the ball, and Hayden threw a 3-yard pass to Robbie Daly, and the weird thing is it went from second down, which usually goes to third down. I've watched football for a long time, but it went to fourth down, so they
Crazy.
lost the whole play, and the craziest thing is we're sitting here watching it and the ref didn't even want to hear it from the coach.
Right.
He was told to leave or that he didn't want to hear him. And we're all sitting there like, what's going on? And then Spruce Creek came out and won the game. And I feel like they were completely robbed because they could have had a chance to go for a field goal or try another attempt. And in your, experience and stuff, if the FHSAA reviews this, is there a chance that maybe it can be redacted or like what actually happens in this, because truly there was an error.
Right.
There was
And
definitely an error.
what we were kind of talk about and before we turned on the cameras was that, you know, I have seen stuff like this happen, but in regular season games, and it kind of just gets brushed under the rug and it's kind of like nothing you could do about it. But this had big implications.
Yeah.
You know, this was really important for like the community because my year, and you know, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because we even had a really good year, shout out to Paxia and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we made it to the second round of the playoffs, and I don't think anyone's made it to the second round. I wanted my nephew to go further than we had, and they had every possibility. And I have friends at Lake Mary that they were going to play in the next round, and that's a whole nother thing. But they just got robbed, and it's crazy. But
We have that video. Do you want me to go ahead and play it?
Yeah, if you can go ahead and
Most
play it for the
definitely.
viewers, and we can give them the phone number so they can call in if they have any questions or comments regarding
Right after this clip, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Bulldogs trail by 1 point. 19 seconds to go. No timeouts left. 3 wide receivers to his left.
Is it fourth down?
Now it should not. Is it fourth down?
It was 2nd and 1. It should be 3rd down.
And the officials say it's fourth down.
It's 3rd down. It was 2nd and 1. They just took it down. They just took it down.
This is unbelievable. So it goes from 3rd down to 4th
No,
down.
it goes
here.
from 2nd down to 4th down.
Hayden Hayes in the shotgun. This is it.
They took it down away. How does this happen? How does this happen in the playoffs? How?
This is unbelievable.
Sorry, Ed.
So we're going to have to go back and look at the tape
Don't
here.
have to look at it. It was 2nd and 1. It was 2nd and 1. It was 2nd and 1. This is unbelievable.
So the Bulldogs robbed here.
All right, that's the clip. Our phone number at the studio, in case you want to call in and discuss that, is 386-251-8100. That's 386-251-8100. So what do you guys think of that?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I respect everything that Coach Fish has done with the program. You know, he's done really well as a second-year coach. I don't know what is allowed or not, but I feel like the best option would have been to just run on the field, stop the game. Like, let's really figure this out. You can't just say it's for, like.
To my understanding, he tried to do that and try to get their attention, and they said they didn't even want to hear him. That's the whole thing. Like, they weren't even acknowledging that he was trying to say, hey, what happened here?
And that's when I kind of get to the point where it's like, I think somebody needs to be calling a lawyer or something like that.
There's
like,
how many refs on the field? 4 or 5? And all of them knew what down it was, too. I don't know how that was overlooked by multiple, like, you know, is it just the one ref's duty to call that down?
And then, like I said, I was at the game, and the guy who does the chains and stuff like that is over on their side,
right,
on the away team side. And I saw him, I'm like, why does it say 4th down? What is going on?
Maybe Fish needs to be more assertive, you know, maybe more aggressive.
You know, and that's kind of like, I respect where he's trying to, because the thing is, the last thing you need is a penalty.
Or get ejected from the game.
We have a caller. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're on the air and live.
Hi, I have a question. I have a question about football, and one of your hosts on there.
Oh, looks like we lost the caller. You still there? Oh, sorry. Looks like we lost the caller.
Also, can you turn our volume up? The caller's volume?
That's as loud as it goes.
You have to really listen in because they like,
Oh, we have another caller. Hello? You're on the air.
You didn't lose the call. I'm watching.
Sounds very
We'll
childish.
Whatever.
talk about
It's going in now.
the game
Yeah,
again.
You know, this is all Wi-Fi here. So.
Right.
So
Anyway.
we'll go back to the playing of the field. So you guys think he should have done more than if they would allow? Like, if they weren't going to allow him on the field, what else should he have done?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said it might have to go a different route, like a lawsuit or something like that. But
Can they do that? Have you ever heard of anything? I mean, you played football forever. I've never seen anything like this.
No, I haven't, but I've heard of things like, because I've heard crazier lawsuits. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the school, because I feel like it got cheated, and it really, because I'm pretty sure if you win a state championship, it helps out your school. You know what I mean? If your school starts winning a lot of, and then like players. Kids wanting to go to your school, you start winning more and more. And now your program, now, you know, I feel like you just get a better program, and you just see these schools that are really good they are built up. They have great facilities, all this stuff going on. And it's just great for the overall program of Flagler, especially now that we built Matanzas.
Right.
And like, you know, if one school wins a state championship or goes really far, you know, but.
Yeah, it is good for the air and everything. But so have you looked at like the schedules between last year and this year? Do you think the strength of the schedule was just about the same, or do you think it was a little easier, in your opinion? Because you saw like Mainland was on top last year, and what happened this year, I think.
Yes.
It was a little different to watch it.
There was a lot of stuff that kind of went into what happened, and you know, we have a group chat and we talk to Marcus and stuff like that. And so Paxia, who he went to school when I went to school, he was an offensive lineman.
He coached my son in football. Yeah.
He was a year younger than me. That's my brother. So, and we actually did weightlifting together. So when Paxi was here, they did really good. They went to the playoffs, and then they lost. And then after that, Paxi got the offer.
Right.
So after that, the quarterback from FPC transferred to Mainland.
Right.
And so a lot of other players transferred to Mainland. And then the other players, they transferred to St. Augustine. And it's funny because last year, the state championship was Mainland versus St. Augustine. So it's funny, it was in Tallahassee, but we were like, it might as well be at FPC
Why do you think all those players left FPC to go to mainland?
because
They knew who
wanted
they
to,
lost,
They
you
wanted
know?
to go D1.
Yeah,
because
but they
wanted
knew
to-
they lost how many? I think they lost, what, 32 seniors or something like that last year? And all of them went, I mean, a lot of them had amazing offers and scholarships and went to UF and like some really big colleges.
That's the team that won state
Yeah,
championship
last year.
is the team.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like last year it's kind of hard because it was Fish's first year and he lost a lot of players.
But he also
you know?
gained a lot. I mean, he brought Hayden over with a couple other people from Seabreeze that actually started, and I think they had a couple of other transfers, right?
And I think just first year in a program, it's hard to just mesh and learn. So I think this
Yeah.
year they did really well. So kind of comparing it to last year is a little hard.
Yeah.
Because it was a first year program for him, first year for the quarterback. You know, a lot of the players lost a lot of their friends to teams. Like there was a big kind of controversy, like, are you staying? Are you going? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Marcus was like, I'm going to stay and break my dad's record. And we respected his decision, you know?
I'm glad he did that because, yeah, I'm sure his dad's real proud of him for that. And he has a lot to say. And like he ended up with being the number one rusher in the area. So it did work out for him. So that's great.
Definitely.
So,
Let's give a call out one more time to your sponsor, Transformation Fitness. Their phone number 386-793-7778, located at 1070 Palm Coast Parkway, Suite 6.
Shout out my boy Paxia. He's listening right now.
There you go.
yeah,
Will,
he's doing well.
Sir.
Yeah.
not much in the conversation.
Tell him to
no.
call in. I would
They're
love to
doing-
hear
they're
his
doing
take
great.
on this.
Well, no, I'd say
Hey,
that.
Pax, if you can, call
Yeah,
in.
call in. We'd love to hear your take on this play.
I
in-
definitely
in
would love to
question.
hear it.
Well,
Call,
basically-
call the number on the comment thing.
Basically, my opinion, the FPC is a great team, great school, great football team. I just would not want to go down just because maybe the fish has gone bad. That's just my opinion.
Oh, you think the
I
refs
don't know,
did that
maybe.
because?
Well, I'm saying, I'm sorry to use that, to refer to Daniel Fish, but I'm just saying he's doing all right. But maybe if he doesn't pick certain players, then maybe he can just pay attention to who can actually perform. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
So do you think that had anything to do with the play calling at the end?
Maybe.
You think so?
One thing I can say to him, and I also said like I it's hard to judge somebody off of the most recent like failure when they've gone this far and have done great. But there was it was in the fourth quarter, scores 35-28. There's 5 minutes left in the game, and we get the ball back after stopping them, and then the goal right now should be you have the number one running back in the area. Just run the
And quarterback.
well what I'm saying at this point is you want to run the clock out. You don't want the other team to have any time left.
Yeah.
So when you run the ball, even if you don't get any yards, the clock is going to keep running. And they're either going to be forced to call a timeout, which I don't even know if they had any timeouts left.
They didn't. They didn't have any more.
So then we could have run out about a good 3 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you run the ball, Marcus was getting like 7 yards a carry. He's going to get a first down, and
Right.
you guys can keep going and possibly kneel the ball. But we threw the ball first, second, third down. No, first and second down. Then on third down, they had a penalty and it brought it back. Then they ran it with Marcus, and Marcus got like 12 yards to almost get the first down. But I just I was like, man, you're supposed to be running the ball. Why are you throwing it? And like you said, they have a great quarterback. But in situations, you gotta run the ball.
Spruce
And
Creek
it's not
kind of
because of my
shut
nephew.
down. Well, Spruce Creek kind of shut down their offense in the second half.
Exactly.
And the first half they were doing better, but then all of a sudden, right before halftime, I saw the switch where Spruce Creek started to really turn it on, and they started gaining the momentum. So yeah, towards the end of that game, Spruce Creek was kind of shutting down Hayden.
Yeah, and I saw him go in the locker room, and I was like, hey, you guys are up, but the game is not over. Like, they're not dead yet. Like, you need to keep your foot on their neck.
Yeah.
Like, wipe the smiles off your faces. It's not over yet. And, you know what I mean? Like,
So
this is
losing that
big.
one play was crucial.
Well, I think that was a crucial drive
And
right
some of the
there
play
where
calling.
it's like, but overall, he's a great coach, you know what I mean? And he did really great this season. But, I will say this, like, our defense has been a question mark all season. And it's like all season.
We have a call
you know?
coming in.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and hopefully this one won't drop. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello? Hello? Well, and there you have
Going
it.
back to that comment you just said about the defense, a lot of the games, they were really high scoring games on both sides. So you are right. I mean, some of them were 60-30, 40-30, and there was a lot of.
The game right before was against DeLand, and
Yeah.
the score was 62-57.
Yeah. No,
It's
they
like,
did let
man,
a lot
we
of points.
They put 57 points up on us, and it's hard to talk about it because these are like 15, 16, 17-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And I love them. They're for my community, you know. What I can do, just being criticizing it, is like, coach, you got to put your kids in position. You know what I mean? But it's like, I still respect you as a coach. I know it's hard. You know, your kids go down. You can't just get other kids out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
No, and I think that was my whole thing after watching them take that play away and then Spruce Creek come out, kneel the ball, they won. Watching all of the seniors go over there and hug their coaches and cry and get on their knees and stuff, like I felt awful. Like as a parent, a mom, just somebody who watches football, and I know some of those kids personally, and it's like you watch them, their hearts broken, and it's like they just realize their whole season's done and they really needed that extra play to maybe see what could have happened. You know,
One thing that I kind of did notice, because I was on the field, like talking to Marcus after the game, and it's like the refs were gone.
yeah. Well, I think they knew. I
They were
mean,
going quick.
that commentator was hot. People were hot, and that should not have ended like that. Like,
They were going quick.
yeah.
That was pretty funny.
And they split the teams up too. Like Spruce Creek was not allowed to talk to FPC at all. Like they divided the fields. I saw the sheriff out there, and yeah, it was kind of crazy. I was wondering. I know. I was wondering if they were afraid of a riot or something.
Of course, yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So a lot of football games are like that though now, where they
Yes.
kind of split the teams up, especially huge
They have
rivalries.
to.
They're
They have
not.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is for safety of the children. Or kids, I should say, not children.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you think
Adults.
moving forward it's going to be like when we're losing all these seniors like Marcus and Hayden and all of, I mean, we're losing a lot of seniors this year over at FPC.
You know, it's gonna be a rebuilding year next year.
Yeah.
But somebody's gonna have to step up to the plate. You know what I mean?
I think we
And-
only have one quarter. I wonder who we got. Jason, I think, is behind Hayden. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, and you know, it's like, especially dealing with varsity in high school, I feel like going from JV to varsity is a pretty big jump for young kids. So until they really take that field, it's hard to tell if they're battle tested or not. But I hope we have a good team, you know. But if you lose,
And going back to a lot of the kids left to go to mainland. Why do you think they did that, knowing that all of those people left? Like, do you think they thought they were going to win state again this year, or?
no, I'm saying that's happened 2 years ago. So
Oh, okay, yes.
So when everyone was gone,
Yeah.
that's when they had a struggling kind of season. You know,
Because they lost some kids this year from FPC that went to mainland also.
they definitely were chasing.
You
know
think
what I mean?
they were ring chasers?
They were ring chasers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, their season ended up really different too over there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they got whooped too.
yeah, a lot of surprises this year in football, high school area. So yeah. So did you want to
Oh,
plug?
we have another caller. Hey, caller, you're on the air. Hello.
Is the volume up? Oh, no.
There we go. You can hear him.
We can hear you.
How y'all doing?
Doing
Doing
good. How are
good.
you? You're on the air. Go ahead.
It's
Y'all talking about the FPC thing?
Yeah.
I truthfully think that it was a lot of errors, but you know that every officiating crew has somebody up in the booth watching it down.
So they have official
Right.
in the box who actually writes everything down. Do they?
That watches the down, take the penalties, all that.
So do they coordinate with the staff down below?
Yes.
So you think so? Somebody from the box might have said it was fourth down.
Yes.
Huh.
Let me ask you this question: are you trying to say that it wasn't a mistake, or do you agree there was a mistake made?
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Okay. Hey, where are you from?
Are you there?
hey,
Where,
Yeah.
where are you from? Are you from Palm Coast? Are you from?
Daytona, Volusia.
Daytona.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
So you've been around football a long time to see a lot of plays. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah, like
No, not. Like it's always egregious call. It's wrong, but not with the down.
Yeah.
Do you think like do you think the refs were on some funny business or what?
Just a simple mistake. I don't think it was a funny bit. I don't think it was malicious. But then, if you actually watch the game, they should have called penalties on FPC.
It's
Yeah.
not even just penalties, but missing a down and going from second to fourth.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you have refs and you have like even a spotter to look out and officiating type of crew, I mean, how could like what 2, 3, 4 people miss this?
I mean, the
Come
announcer,
on,
the
this is-
commentator was
at the end of the
screaming.
game,
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, man, somebody had money on Creek.
And
Maybe
then
too
nobody
much.
had common sense to check with the referee himself. That was the thing that's
I-
crazy.
I agree with that problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once again, and I'm not putting it on the head coach, but one of the coaches, because there's a coach up in the box too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like someone got to talk to someone. We got to stop this game. This got to be an official timeout. There's like injury timeouts. I'm not telling them to do it, but somebody should have fell on the ground and
So-
said they were hurt.
If the ref says get off the field, though, we don't want to hear you. What do you do in that case? Like to the
Follow-
caller, like if a ref tells you get off the field, but there's a problem, do you think that the FHSA will review this and maybe change it, or what do you think might happen?
No,
No, heck no.
it's time.
You've seen a lot of football games, and obviously,
It's a playoff game. They're not going to take the time. They might review it and say that the decision was wrong, but
I mean, even if it's a blatant error like this, where a team could have won.
And that's what I'm saying.
they're
If
not going.
go ahead.
They're not going to. They might find the referees not let them coach a playoff game,
Right.
in any other playoff game, but they're not going to change the outcome of the game.
No, and someone asked in the thing. No, there's not enough time to replay the game because playoffs is next week. Like playoffs is like
On
in
Friday
3
again,
days.
yeah.
What are they gonna play a game tomorrow or something and then be ready for the next one?
Have you ever seen anything with the FHSAA if they have a complaint? Have you ever seen it overturned in any situation, or this like never happens? Like whatever the officiator says, they back them up 100%.
They ain't gonna overturn a game unless it was. They're not gonna do that unless it was something like very, very bad, like somebody cheating. Like that cheat. When I mean cheating, like somebody intentionally target somebody or something.
Right. They
Like
can
that.
prove on one person.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So this is fighting an uphill battle for them if they're trying to flood emails and calls and everything. They're really not going to do anything in the end.
The only thing you can do is put attention to the crew, and that will maybe suspend them for like a fish. Like I said, we'll suspend them, but replaying the game is not gonna happen.
What did you think about officiating this year for football games that you've watched in the area for local high school? Do you think officiating was up to par?
No,
Yeah, my experience too, because my son plays high school football. It was definitely rough this year.
yeah,
And I think like what he was saying, if they'll maybe issue an apology or admit to wrongdoing, like on paper, then there might be room for like a lawsuit of some sort. You know what I mean? At least by the school.
they're not gonna admit wrong.
So do you think silence is omitting something though also by not responding at all?
You might not be able to take
They'll
that to court though.
care- They're gonna take care of it by suspending them.
That
Not
crew?
really suspending, might separate that crew. It might separate
Yeah.
them, but they're not going. They're not going. This is Florida. Where has the Florida the FHSAA admitted wrong for anything?
It's funny because I actually just looked it up. Have they ever there's been a couple lawsuits, you know what I mean? But not for
Well, this is a
anything
big
about
game.
not for anything
Yeah.
about the game, but
This is a big game.
There's been some based on people that were too old playing on football teams and stuff like that. There's some over like sexual harassment and stuff like that.
At a football game?
Too old.
They wasn't suing. They wasn't suing the FS. They were suing the county and the school.
Hmm.
Because a lot of these teams, what they do is they have a kid that turned 19, and
Wow.
maybe 19 years old, and technically, a lot of them are like 6-year seniors in high school. Is one of the two runners.
Oh, wow.
So, in that fact, like you could have a kid that birthday is, let's say, August 18th, August 20th. Technically, that's a late birthday.
Yeah, they missed a cutoff. It's August 1st.
Yeah, so they could be in high school playing football at 19 years old.
Did you play a lot of 19-year-olds in high school, or were they pretty much 16 and 17? 18.
I'm telling you, not many kids.
No, not
Not
many. But I have heard of like down in Miami that they have had players say even on like baseball teams might have been from the Dominican Republic and they don't have like a real birth certificate. That type of thing is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Where there's like
a lot of these kids, for example, a lot of kids that be phenomenal. You be like, oh, this is the best freshman, best sophomore, best junior. Find out that freshman is 16 years old, or that sophomore is 17, or junior is 18, or the sophomore might be things like that. But they might do things like that, take away games like they did for TFA.
Yeah.
But recruiting and stuff, they might do that, but they're not gonna go against the officiating crew.
Yeah.
Probably they will, but not public.
Yeah.
But they like. Do you know that officiating crew record the game themselves too? They have somebody else come and record.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's very interesting.
So I wonder if someone's reviewing that now and saying, we kind of made a mistake. So they have somebody who records the game up top in the booth?
No, they in the stand.
Oh, in the stands. Okay. I never knew
I
that.
think they're
They do that with just high school, or they do it with all football games that they officiate? Like Pop Warner and stuff.
High school.
Oh, high school. Okay.
just like
Hmm.
they might be a normal person and be like, oh man, why you recording? I'm recording my nephew. No, they part of the officiating crew.
So, checks and balance systems. This shouldn't have happened. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Like somebody should have come up and
Exactly
said, I
right.
think we might have made an honest mistake. And but yeah, like you said, that opens them up to a lawsuit possibly. So yeah.
I hate that they got screwed because of this. A lot of seniors, good kids that was on the LP.
Yeah, I know. So that's what broke my heart, is watching them all like realize that it was their last game and they're all sitting there crying and stuff, and they still had one more chance, and it was kind of heartbreaking to watch. So, you got any questions, Will?
Oh,
No,
no
you
further
good?
questions then,
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your
Thanks for
call.
calling.
Okay, the lines are open at 386-251-8100, 386-251-8100. So,
Well, I guess everyone's in opinions and all agreement that this was definitely done dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Looks
and
pretty
there's
bad.
seems to be nothing that can be done about it.
no, there's not. I mean, nothing we or the players can. But like I said, possible lawsuit. But other than that, I don't think.
Yeah, like what
There's
happens
much.
next year if this happens again? Like this is kind of like crazy that they might have to change some rules or do something, because this is kind of crazy. You can literally strip somebody of a playoff game,
Right.
a
You
playoff win.
brought up a good point because, you can't have a game in between now and tomorrow. So,
It's too late.
Yeah,
in the
it's
playoffs.
way
That's
too
why,
late.
Like
That's-
in the regular season, they might be able to reschedule the game or do something. Because I've even seen where like games have, like there was a storm or a hurricane, whatever, and it got so bad they had to cancel the game,
right.
and then like they redid the game on the Monday or whatever and
Afterwards,
finished
yeah,
the
'cause
game,
the season
and they
was a league
started
leader.
exactly where they were at.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I really think about it, they might be able to, because there's only like 21 seconds left in the game. So maybe they could redo it or something like that. But,
be a quick game.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Do you
would
really-
come for that.
Do you really think they would do that?
They wouldn't, but that would be awesome.
That would
would
be
be.
awesome.
Everybody
Would
would
be.
come for the 21st,
yes.
21 seconds.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool to see. Like, let's just duke it out in 21 seconds. You got
Yeah.
2 plays to make it, or
Ideas.
you only got 1 play actually.
Well, it would be third down. So
So
then
then
it'd be 3rd and 4.
Technical.
So then you'd be able to run it with Marcus, get a first down, or get a little bit closer and then kick a field goal or
But
something.
well, technically, the 3rd down, if it was to go back, and Hayden threw the ball to Robbie Daly, so that would kind of consider you a 4th down. So you'd technically be just doing your 4th down, whether you kick the field goal or you let Marcus run for it.
Well,
If you had your
once
19
again,
seconds.
going back to coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know why they went for it on 4th down. If you thought it was 4th, you should have just tried for the field goal. That'd have been better. Anyways,
But the kicker had not been consistent most of the game, so you're taking a big
I think
gamble there. And I think he had 2 blocked too. He had 2 kicks
Yeah, there was
blocked
a
by
block.
Creek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Their defense was
But my thing is like the running back didn't even run to the first down.
no. You're right.
But so it's like call a different play or something. I hear you on having a good quarterback. Call a different play. But what I was saying is, okay, if it was because it went to 4th and 4 and it was supposed to be 3rd and 4. So 3rd and 4, I feel like you could have ran the ball and got closer. Then it would have been 4th
more
down.
time.
Yeah.
And you could have did that little quick play if you needed 1 or 2 yards, you know?
Well,
That's all.
who actually calls that play? Is it the OC or the coach? And
Now this is where it goes back to the thing. It's like, bro, there's 10 seconds left in the game, in a playoff game. You're the head coach. You're the one who gets fired if like things go bad.
Right.
Like, are you gonna leave this in the hands of your OC and just be like, oh, all right, this is it's like, I feel like you got to take the reins.
Well, the
in your
OC
hand at
has
that time.
been doing a good job there. I mean, they scored a lot of touchdowns this year, and they have very high scoring games on several games. So I think he was doing pretty good with Hayden and his offense.
He's doing great.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't like judging people off of just one situation,
Right.
But, and like I said, I'm not an offensive coordinator. I don't want to, but, I'm just going through, this is just like kind of normal football things.
Here are
you know?
your
It's
tools,
like-
yeah.
And my thing is just like, I guess.
You thought
'cause
Marcus should have run it.
What down were they on? Or what yard were they on? Like the
The
30?
30, I thought it was 20. I'll have to go back and look.
It was like 20.
Yeah.
Like,
20.
it's like, come on. And I'm not, once again, it's hard because they're not NFL players. They're little 17, 16, whatever. But it's like, bro, you can't make a 30-yard field goal. It's not a far field goal. I understand if you're suspect on him, but it's like,
Yeah, I was just going by based on
how
what we
close are
see.
you trying to get?
I was just going by based on what we saw the entire game, though. The poor kid was getting blocked on his field goal or his attempts and everything. Like, it just seemed like he was struggling. I don't know if you would put all of the faith in that one play to do that, or if you would put it behind Marcus Mitchell and let him run, or something else like that, because they're he's been very consistent all season.
Me personally, and they always say it, I'm taking the points.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sorry, I keep
No,
getting
you're
that.
fine.
But it's like I'm taking the points. You know what I mean? It's like I get it. You know what I mean? I definitely understand. We have a great quarterback and stuff like that. No offense to him or the receiver, but we saw how that turned out.
Have you
You know?
talked to anybody on the Creek side to know their opinions about what they think about that play call? Like, do they think that wasn't right, or do they agree with it? Or I'd like to know their opinion
That's a good one.
too. No, seriously. Like,
So
I mean, you can't go back and look at that video and say, dude, that was really a 4th down when it wasn't, you know?
But they won.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I talked to Mark after
Because
the
I
game.
know, yeah, I heard from Mark too.
Yeah, I talked to Mark after the game, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Sorry, man."
Yeah.
He's like, like, I don't know what happened, but sorry, bro. Like, we're going to the next round.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
Sorry it hurt, but
I'm
oh
sorry.
well.
I'm sorry that call was
Yeah.
really bad and should not have happened,
We
but you
didn't
know,
do it.
we're not doing it, but we won. So yeah.
Sorry, but we're gonna take this for y'all, and we're gonna.
Have you
know,
talked to any coaches on that team or involved with Spruce Creek to know their opinion on this? Because if that happened to
No.
them, like if the roles were reversed and they were in
Mm-hmm.
that situation, I don't think it would have gone down like this.
Yeah, usually, and when you're on the winning side, you want to kind of be as quiet as you can. Like,
Of course.
you don't want it to get switched over.
Right.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
But no,
So-
like if you put the shoe on the other foot and that was Creek on
Yeah.
that got robbed of that down, I don't think that coach would have been.
He definitely would.
No,
not have
I
happened.
think he
No.
would have
No,
come on
of
the
course
field
not.
and flags would be flying and that crowd would have gone nuts.
You know, and it's like, and especially the thing is, it would have looked really bad because it's an away game for them. So it's like, oh, the FPC refs are cheating for them and stuff like that.
No, they came from
So
out of
that's
an
why-
area.
That's why it's hard, because it was a home game. We got cheated at home.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy because, like I said, my son plays football, and a lot of the teams that we played that were at their facility and their refs, they were very biased all season long. Like
Crazy.
we went to Melbourne to MCC, and those refs were, they were very strict down there.
That's why I
Victory
really
Christian,
don't
all of
understand.
them. So yeah, I know it was all over the place this year. maybe they'll do something in the off season to do extra training or just something to try to have a check and balance, because like you said, there's really no
right.
check and balance right now to if something
Which
happens
is
like
not
this.
effective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely
Obviously
like
not.
I feel like there needs to be some kind of official timeout being able to be taken in these games, because There is no.
Yeah, there
instant
wasn't a
replay.
timeout. That's the thing. He
'Cause,
couldn't use a
Yeah,
timeout.
it's like, and I get it. He doesn't want like, or he doesn't have one, but it's like that's why I said like we need the whole team to run on the field or something. We need to stop this game because if that happened, they're gonna stop the game. You know what I mean? But it's like
But then would they throw
a flag.
a flag and like the whole team would have gotten in trouble anyways with a penalty or something, or could have got it potentially ejected from the game and it wouldn't have really mattered. Like, I wonder if Coach Fish was worried about that too, because they told him, step back. We don't care what you say, basically.
And that's where I feel like
That's why they ran off the field so quick.
I feel like that person who said that needs to be liable because it's like you said, there needs to be checks and balances.
Yeah.
I get it. You are a coach or you're a ref and stuff, but like we need to understand that everybody's on the same page here.
Or the fact that he didn't even go to any other refs on the field and say, hey, did I do something wrong? Is something not right here? Like, he didn't even do that. It didn't look like. On the tape, he just kept rolling. He was like, this is how it's going to be, and we're going to go with it.
And that's my, but like this is the thing too. This is why I'm trying to be very like kind to the coach. One, my coach was Coach Allen, and he was like very like stern, strong coach, like, and I wouldn't want anybody talking about Coach Allen, you know what I mean?
Right,
but
of
also
course.
on the same side, it's almost like an alumni thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it's a struggle because I've been there longer than he has.
Yeah.
So there was even some parts where like I might be like I had like a jersey on and stuff like that, and it's like, how do you get a jersey? You know what I mean? And
I
it's
graduated with one.
Like, yeah, and
You
it's
got
like,
to take these home.
yeah, and it's like, where, why is this guy like on the sideline or whatever? And it's like, I get that, but it's like, some of the coaches I played with, and they played after me. You know what I mean? So,
So
but
he needs to tighten up a little bit. He needs to, be more assertive. He looks out for FPC.
Yeah.
He's the head coach.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
a tough situation to be in, and I feel
Yeah, because
like
I don't think if it was Creek that happened in, I don't think that coach would have.
He wouldn't have tolerated
Yeah.
that.
one thing I will agree with you on is if we would have won, he would have took the credit.
Of course.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's got to
That's what I'm
take the
saying.
blame if we lose.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Yeah, that
so
is
you're right
true.
on that.
I know you
It
can't
is-
say nothing. You don't want to say too much about it.
Yeah,
That's
but
fine. And
it's
I'm
like,
not
bro, it
being-
is your fault.
I'm
It
just
is-
going
yeah.
by just like what
What
I
you
see.
seen, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, listen,
You're right.
Fish, don't go bad. You're not on the counter right now. Be
Yeah.
into the frying pan.
How long has the head coach of Spruce Creek been there?
He used to coach at FPC. He was Coach Moody, and I
Okay.
believe he was there before the coach that went to Mainland was there.
So he has a lot of high
Coach,
school.
It went like
Okay.
Moody, then Roland, then Paxia, then Fish.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I believe he used to coach in the NFL. He
Oh.
he used to coach my boy Ellie. He's a good dude. I met him when he was the coach at FPC and stuff like that. So he did really well with the team there.
Yeah.
Got players, places. That's another big thing too. It's like get your players to the next level. Help
Yes.
develop your players.
Yeah.
Right, right.
It's great to win in the playoffs and stuff, but I think your real legacy is how many players. I don't want to say you get D1, but at least get into college.
I
you
know
Right.
Paxia.
We got a comment on Facebook from Jason. It says lining up, knowing it is third down versus fourth down are two completely different coaching calls.
Right.
They had no more timeouts and likely would not have had time to bring the field goal unit in without a delay of game. What do you think about that?
It's all you, Jonathan.
I'd like to ask him how much time was on the clock because I really
19 seconds. Or, yeah, at this point, it was 19 seconds, I believe.
I think that's enough time to get the field goal unit on the field
Yeah,
and run a
running.
play.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't get the field goal unit, be ready. You run a play. Average play takes 7 seconds. They get on the field. I know it's going to be tight, but it's like I think you go for that call. You know what I
So
mean?
when you're
I
in
know
that
what he's saying.
situation, should he have been warming up already, waiting for that moment to happen?
100%, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he said it was fourth down. I don't understand what that means. We
Oh,
know,
it went from second to fourth down is what he's saying, because that's what happened in the video.
No, I
so
understand
they
that.
lined up for the third down to run a play, and then ended up being fourth downs, and they didn't have any more. So he's saying that if it was fourth down and they thought it was third
yeah,
down.
he's saying,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, he
he
says
should-
it was fourth
It's-
down.
okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying if it's fourth down, you should have just brought your field goal team out and kicked the field goal.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it's fourth down, like
Yeah, because they had enough
right.
time.
not, and you're on like, okay, can you tell us what yardage? Because he seems like he knows pretty
Yeah,
well.
he
what
was there. He was there at the game.
Can you tell us what yard we were on? Because okay, you know, if it's over like a 45, and when you kick, I believe they add 17 yards onto it.
It would have been it would have been.
So it would have been close, but you know, I thought they were on like the 25 or something, but it's like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. And this is in the high school and the college level, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but when I was at Lindenwood in St. Louis, Marshawn Gilliard got drafted to the St. Louis Rams, and we played high school ball together, so I'd be at his apartment all the time. I would go to the NFL practice sometime. So I've seen it at all three levels. All they do is kick field goals all practice.
Yeah.
That's all the kicker does. That's all the kicker does. And I love these kids. Once again, I'm not trying to hate on them, but you're a good team. If your kicker can't make a 40-yard field goal, we're having problems. And I would rather leave it up to that. But I just, you know,
You would rather take that than have Marcus run the ball?
On 4th and 4, I don't think it's a good idea to run the ball. That's just what it.
Right.
I hear them on throwing the ball. I think maybe do a different, like, I get where they're coming from.
They were
You know what I
shutting
mean?
down the offense a lot the second half.
I get where they're coming from. I honestly think the best bet was to run it with the quarterback because he has
Hayden's fast.
Yeah, he
man.
has great legs.
I watched
Bro,
him all season. He's very fast.
Like-
He
like-
surprised me,
He is.
actually.
He's
What-
very
And I
fast.
hope he gets offers back to your other what you were talking about. They need to prepare them for and be advocates for them to move on. Hayden needs an offer coming in because he deserved it. He really earned it this year.
I believe he committed somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I believe he already committed
I'm
somewhere.
glad because he earned it this year for sure.
He said they had him on a play clock when they went out for work. That's fine, but with the play clock, you have enough time
To get
kick
your
a
field goal.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Still do, yeah.
But like I said, I hate going, you know, dissecting play calls, what ifs, and all this and stuff like that. But what I will say is, even if he caught it, he wasn't at the first down. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
like, bro, I don't know if that was, or you know, it might be on the receiver, whatever. But
Did you talk to Marcus after this happened at the end of the game when all of them are crying and walking off? What did was he upset about just the play call or just the whole thing or?
Marcus, he was definitely upset about it, but Marcus, you know, he just has such a playful energy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, and it's funny because my father passed away when I was 15, so I understand where he's coming from. Thank you. I understand where he's coming from. It's like he's had bigger losses than this before.
Yeah.
So he kind of took this differently than his team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I know what it's like to really lose something, you know?
Yeah.
So he wasn't like,
And that's so unfortunate because
Yeah.
he's such a good kid.
right. He wasn't
So
like
unfortunate.
crying. And then I think another thing is, you know, I don't want to say too much, but he has the aspirations to play at the next level. You know what I
Right.
mean?
He
So-
deserves it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really good. So maybe he might not in his mind think that this was his last game,
Right.
but he definitely felt cheated. He was definitely mad. He was more mad than sad.
Has he committed anywhere yet?
No, he hasn't. I don't
No.
believe. I don't want to speak for him. This is
Oh,
an
okay.
official
No,
statement,
yeah,
but
no.
I don't believe that he has.
Okay.
He hasn't spoken to me about it. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully he'll end up somewhere good too because he deserves it. He's a very good
Definitely,
kid, and
definitely,
he had a great
definitely.
season too.
hmm
So, but yeah, go back to lot. That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and
A lot of these kids though, it is their last game.
yeah, especially
know?
being up by like 2 touchdowns at halftime.
Yeah, I really thought they were
that-
going to blow them away the second half, but then right before the second half, Spruce Creek had that drive and ended up scoring, and we went to halftime, and I'm like, ooh, the momentum changed, and it
And
did.
then they got the ball at halftime, and they did a kick return almost to the end zone. They went like 73 yards.
Yeah.
You know, and they had close fields and stuff.
Yeah. So, did he write anything back?
He said they didn't know it was 4th until late in the play clock.
Yeah, I believe there were still 19 seconds left at that time, though. So, even if there's 11 seconds, you could still get your team out there, right? You should be able to.
I guess what he's saying is like by the time he figured stuff out, the clock was still running and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, he was like, let's just go with it because I don't want the end of the game to happen. But like,
And you got to think too, it's a huge game. You only have a few seconds, and you have that to make that call as a head coach like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's tough. You know what I mean? But
Do you think it has to do with inexperience because he is a newer high school football coach
I think
as
so.
compared to like Spruce Creek, who's been around, like you said, with the NFL
Yeah.
and obviously around high school football for a long time. Maybe as his experience grows, he learned something from this.
Yeah,
you know.
next year he's gonna do something different. He might have a player fall down injured or something like
Yeah,
that.
I saw that this year, and I was like, "What is this kid doing? Is he
Yeah.
okay?" And they were just doing it to stop the play
Whatever it
clock,
takes.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I'm honestly
I don't-
shocked that these kids
Yeah.
are so seasoned at FPC
Yeah.
that they didn't think of that.
Well, I think they said that they're gonna start making that illegal and making that a flag. You know what I mean? But
But how do you know if it's really? Yeah, how do you?
He could be
You know what
hurt.
I mean?
Yeah, he could
So,
really be hurt.
and I don't really want to encourage that,
No.
but in a situation like this,
Drop.
you need to have something like
Yeah.
Drop someone.
Yeah.
You, know what I mean? You need
drop
like a challenge flag,
Right.
You know, something like
Take
that.
each other out, do something, and we're not inciting violence.
No.
No.
They're asking online as well. Well, one of them is Jason is saying play clock, not regular clock, and another person is saying, do you think they would have enough time to bring the field goal with the ball catch?
You know what?
and
We were
bounce?
trying to find out if Jason can tell us what actually was the play clock time when this call was made, because
Right,
I thought it
'cause
was
you get-
19 seconds.
I believe that a play clock you get like 30 seconds to make a play, so it's like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they
right.
just did a play right before then, so
They had 30 seconds at least.
you know, and then I understand they're arguing and trying to figure out the play clock situation, so time's rolling. I get that. You know what I mean? I get that. I guess where I'm coming from, once again, I don't want to put this on the coach. I want to make this clear. I'm not putting this on the coach. But from the beginning
but
of
if
the
he
drive,
took the win, he would have taken the win.
he would have. It would have been the coach.
And you said that earlier, so yeah.
Right.
I'm putting it on the coach.
But
I
I don't
am.
know who else
I
there
am.
is. I mean, you're the head coach of a football team.
this is how Coach Steve Allen did it when we were here in the playoffs and stuff like that. From the beginning of the drive, the drive was long.
Yeah,
They
it
drove
was.
it long.
Yeah.
Playoff team should have the field goal team should have been ready the whole time.
Yeah,
So
and
they're talking about
we're
they
not-
didn't have enough time. You're sprinting on the field. This is
You
this
got
is
30
the-
seconds left to
this-
get down
this
the
is
field.
game. Like you should already know this is an option that we're gonna do if something like this happens. You should it said 4. When it said 4 and we're arguing, field goal team should be ready here. If we had time to run a play, then you had time to talk about a play and run a play.
Right.
So then there's no play to be called. You know where to line up, kick the field goal. And then I honestly, if there is a flag, let's take the flag, back it up, and
We have
maybe
we have a caller. Take a call. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you guys doing today? I am calling in regards of the game that we are discussing for FPC.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Hi, Kirsty, is this you?
Yes.
Wonderful. I hope you and Meadow are doing well, and your son Matthew. Anyhow,
Thank you.
so I wanted to make.
Please speak, caller.
as
Please,
far as what-
caller. Please speak up a little louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. I just wanted to jump in as far as the comments about him being a young coach, as far as Coach Fish. Between Coach Fish, between Coach Medlock, and all the coaches that we have on the staff, we probably have about 20 years of... Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
a lot better.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am calling in regards of the comments as far as the coach being young and being unexperienced. Between Coach Fish, between Coach Medlock, between all the other coaches that are on staff, we have over 20 years of coaching experience. We also have Coach Medlock, which is a professional football player on the off season. I think that us also keeping in context that the games in an average season for players anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks, and where we can sometimes be a little judgmental as far as what the coaches are doing for the players on the sidelines and during the days. These coaches have done phenomenal with these athletes. Some of them
I
that
agree.
don't have fathers,
Yeah.
some of them that don't have mothers, some
Yep.
of them that have been there for family deaths, some of them that are showing up for some of these players before
Yeah, and
hurricanes, after hurricanes, feeding them. Like I understand what you're saying. However,
Yeah, we're just saying like if it was the others, like if the role was reversed and like say this was Spruce Creek and it was them who were down, they lost a down, and
I completely,
Yeah.
I 100% because I have had my kids in Flagler County for years.
yeah,
Just like you had your son in Flagler County that once used to play on the team.
yeah,
However,
Uh-oh.
Okay. However, when your son was playing on the team and the coaches were still amazing, even though you yourself was reporting the coaching staff and sending emails to the superintendent and sending emails to the principal about you being inappropriate with the children and you
Well,
giving the children
how
drugs.
about
So there's that.
when it comes to like him having a coaching team, like it would be great if he would, I guess, listen to them, because how did this happen? How did this happen if he had such a great team with 20, 20 years experience in, right? I'm just going back to, topic at
Oh,
hand
I
here.
don't
Yeah.
think he's been coaching for 20 years.
No, but he has a
She
team
said-
of people.
she
He has
said
a team.
between-
He has a
yeah,
team.
so
So
like five,
they have to work
five,
together.
five.
Yeah.
So they have to
And,
work together.
I think what I feel like we've done a good job of saying here is we're not trying to judge them by his last moment.
No,
they had
no,
an amazing
not at all.
season. But to be fair, and this is one thing that I'm not trying to, hate on the lady who's calling in, but just like how
No,
she's
not at all.
criticizing us,
Yeah.
he's a grown man and he's playing football. We're allowed to criticize him. That's what this whole thing is about. It's a sport. We're criticizing what happened. We love the coach. We said that. But at the same time, we're allowed to go over what some possible options of what we could have done. But like we said, we're not saying he's a bad coach. We understand it was a hectic situation, but we're going to talk about it and we're going to see what could have been done better and stuff. But he's a great coach. We're not trying to, put him on the cross or anything.
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
wouldn't be here on my podcast
But-
talking about how I thought this was unfair.
But we're saying his experience at Flagler Palm Coast coaching, this is his second year.
Right.
That's all we're speaking about.
Right.
I'm not saying he's a new coach. I don't know what he did before this. You could tell me about it, but I want to know about just the head coach and his years, not all of theirs combined.
Right. I mean, just
Because
like you said, if
Coach Lightsey, who's on the sideline
Yeah,
himself,
he's
has
been there for
20
a while.
years
Right.
experience. So
Yeah.
it could be Coach Lightsey and all the other coaches are brand new.
So
You
why
know,
would you make
Mike
Fish
London's
one?
one of my brothers, and but he's a defensive coach. Jimmy Robinson and the other Robinson brother are also on there. So, coaches are going to take criticism. They
Right,
got to
of
go to
course,
sleep
of
at night.
course.
It's okay. I love them all. You know what I mean? And I still am in love with Flagler Palm Coast. But you know what I mean? Hey man, you wanted the head coaching job. This is going to come with it. Some citizens are going to talk about it on the radio.
It happens.
Yeah.
But just like we respect her opinion, he's got to respect ours.
Yeah. And that's crazy. Like, a lot of people think you're not entitled to your opinion, but that's why we're here trying to take calls from all sides. So
And that's
I
why
know
we
whatever.
respect him as a head coach,
Yeah.
because he's going to come back, coach, and do good next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully do better.
And
a lot of
regardless
improvement.
of what happened before, I still think that they got robbed. That's why I'm sitting here
Right.
talking about it
Right.
right now when I could have chosen any other
Right.
topic to talk about. So,
And also, I'm going to say this because she got me a little bit fired up.
yeah.
Like coaches, when I'm a player, if I make a mistake, he's allowed to tell us we made a mistake.
Right.
So he's a coach. He should be able to take some criticism. from-
Obviously
what
not.
I mean?
Right.
Constructive
You have to.
criticism is
So,
not.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not saying I'm not saying she's speaking upon him and stuff, but
Yeah.
to her, this is the same exact thing that I'm sure he got called on
Yeah.
for giving too much criticism to a player. Well, we're giving him criticism, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he understands and he's okay and he's gonna be able to sleep at night. You know what I mean?
If I had poor performance in my job, I want her to call in on my behalf.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We got a comment again from Jason, and it says, at the end of the day, I don't want to make this about coaching or a blame the referee moment. We want a Florida representative contact the Board of Education, who oversees the FHSAA, to rectify this. An apology and a solution if it happens again.
I agree,
I
Jason.
agree,
Yes,
and
I
that's
agree.
why
I
I'm doing
agree.
this podcast, so you guys could use my platform to hopefully
Good job,
it spread the word out here that you guys got robbed, and that's why we're here, regardless of who likes who, And I respect what happened, and I respect football, and if this is allowed again, this could be a really bad thing if this continues.
This is
The
definitely-
officiating.
There's
Right, you're right.
definitely going to be some big problems with FHSA with Flagler Palm Coast if this happens again.
Or maybe just hire the refs locally instead of do you have to go through them?
We're not allowed to hire them locally
You're
just
not.
because then there is a bias.
Well, there
True.
were so many this year,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
But
listen.
he said at the end of the day, I don't want to make this about coaching or blame the referee
No.
moment.
Yeah, that's what he
of course
Well,
not.
I am blaming the referee. This is
Yeah.
definitely
Oh, of course.
a blame the referee.
Yeah, the
moment.
referee's the
That
only one who could call it.
Yeah, like
Yeah. He's the
like-
one who went from second to fourth down without letting anyone know.
Because that's another thing with soft coaching. they don't actually call out the kid who was to blame. Call out who's to blame. The referee's to blame.
Yeah.
That's what happened. The coach, that's why I feel bad for him, because he was thrown into a bad situation. And that's why really anything that happened after that is hard to judge him on, because it's so crazy. You know,
like the
if
other,
this was college or in
Yeah.
the NFL, there would have been an official timeout called or instant replay or something. So that's why I feel bad for him. But this is definitely the referee's fault, and I'm gonna call it like that.
Yeah.
I am gonna blame.
They
the
need to be held
referee.
accountable because they did lose the game because they could have potentially won if they had one more play.
Right.
You know.
All right.
Nope. We have a call coming in. If I can get the call. Hold on, caller. Don't go away.
All day, every day.
I know.
Caller, you're going to have. Oh, they're there. Hello. You're on the air.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right. How's it going?
Oh, I hope we didn't lose you.
No. Hello?
You there? Hello.
That might have been the other guest that was supposed to come in that got called into the hospital that wanted to talk. He used to coach at FPC.
Somebody's calling again.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
him.
Good.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I already called before, but I'm calling because, listen, people could take their disagreements out on whatever, but the problem is the officiating crew. Who was the chain crew?
Yeah.
The chain crew is always, to be honest, and it's always like some volunteer little
It's a high
kids
school
type-
kid, too.
Yeah.
Most
it's
of
like
the
a
time
it's
they're
like a
high
JV
school.
player or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, most of the time
Like,
there are.
it's not an
kids.
official guy. It's like I've changed some games.
Yeah, but whoever was the chain crew, the one that changed it from second to fourth.
I agree with you.
And I don't even remember seeing that. I just remember
I
hearing
thought
it.
there
Oh,
was
you
some
did
funny-
see it? It
there
went
was some
from
funny-
second to fourth. Okay.
It's on camera, but the kid was wearing like an orange shirt, and I was confused.
But
about
you know
that
what the
too.
craziest thing is he was all the way across the field from the actual ref that actually called this. So how did he know to go to fourth down? Like somebody had to tell him on that side. So some ref on the other side even knew what was going on, apparently.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make it make sense.
I really don't think it has nothing to do with his experience as a coach. But okay, listen, if you get suspended for a game, if he kept on, they could have suspended him for 2 games, and then he'd be out for 2 games for the next year.
Well,
I hear you.
yeah.
I hear you on that. But my thing is just looking at the options. Would you rather get? And I forgot. Like I'm trying to watch my language. Especially now that I feel like there's some adults watching who are going to call in and
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But
You might have to call in and complain on you.
But next season we need to handle this season right now.
Yeah.
Like, if we could solve this problem right now.
Nobody should be attacked based on their opinion.
100%.
Or
You
stuff
know-
that happened to them that involves nobody else that they don't know the whole
Yeah,
other side.
I respect their freedom of speech too, though.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yes, we can. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
They're only
has
hearing
their
one
speech.
side, but it's okay.
Right.
I just like I don't want to silence you. I don't want to silence her either.
But because everything is a debate, but you don't bring up anybody's personal issues, where they got going on to prove your decision. But what I'm saying is, the problem was the chain crew. I went back and watched because they had just not talking. But
We have a
it was the chain crew.
we have an online comment. We have an online comment with somebody asking, "What is a chain crew?"
So the chain crew walks up and down the fields and actually puts the down on the chain.
There's one person that holds it.
That was me.
Yeah, he used to do that, your caller.
There's one person that holds it at the line of scrimmage. There's one person that holds it 10 yards down at the first down. And then there's one person who holds it where the first down started at. And
I accidentally, that was me. I accidentally put that. I should put who was the chain crew, but I sent it and then I called you at the same time.
Gotcha.
Ah,
Well, thank you, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The thing is about everything is,
appreciate your call.
I wish it should be rectified, but it's not going to be rectified. I really don't think it will.
No, and we're just worried about it happening again, like next season or the season after if there's another team.
They could set the rules in for next year. But my thing is, do y'all realize it's somebody that records the games for the officials? So that person should. How do other states have referees that watch film, but the state of Florida doesn't?
You mean like, so in Georgia they review stuff? They don't in Florida?
Yes. They don't enforce
And how now, if they do review that, how does that work with the legality part of it? Like you said, if they put something in writing, they could be opening themselves up for Pandora's box to be sued.
Especially when we question them and they say, "I don't want to hear what you got going on."
Yeah,
It's
I'd
like,
be curious
bro,
to see
what's
what
going
PAC
on?
says, and if like in Georgia, if they ever have a play call that's obvious like this, if they actually would review it, and if they do, what would they do? You know,
This dude Jason said the chain gang did it correctly. The ref told him to change it to fourth. He is not going to ignore the ref. They are volunteers.
and the crazy part though, like I said, is the ref who called the play was over by Fish. This guy is completely across the other way. So how did they could communicate
You know,
that so fast?
When I'm thinking back to like my memory, I almost feel like it was first down, and then when it was second down, he went to change it, and I think he might have accidentally changed it to third, because like I said, it's a volunteer, it's some little kid, so he changed it to third.
Well, you have to go from third to
Then-
go to fourth.
So when the ref saw it, he's like, "Is that third?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "No, fourth next, because this play was third." But no, that play was really second. That's why I was like, "Why does it say third down?"
Yeah, and in the article it said, I believe Marcus stated that he actually watched somebody write down fourth in the book, so maybe he did see that, and then that's why he said it's a fourth, and we got to go. You know.
Hey, boss, you said you rewatched it. I'd like to know if it went from first to second to fourth, or if it went from first to third to fourth.
It went first, second, fourth. No third. No third. Never popped up.
Don't you have to go through the third to get to the fourth?
Got you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So that's why I'm gonna be honest. You're the guy that called before. I'm gonna say it right now. They were cheating. The rest are cheating.
Yeah,
I have no other. You're giving me even more confirmation.
I wonder why they would cheat.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
yeah.
20 years
Yeah,
experience
it-
on that. We shouldn't. Yeah.
But my thing is, what they benefit from cheating?
Yeah, the
okay,
backlash of this
let me,
now?
Let me say this, and that's I'm not. Now we're going down kind of a thing, but they could have been paid. Because once again,
Could've
like,
been.
and I'm not putting it in there, but now we're going down the wormhole.
Yeah.
We said it before. Coach Moody played in the NFL, so he has some money. Now, I'm not saying that he did cheat him or he did do that or anything like that.
But it's been known to happen.
But it's
before.
like, it went to fourth down. What would they have to gain? Maybe like $10,000. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money to a high school ref.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
but, you know, that's right there. That's a slippery slope, man.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is they did cheat there. Now, what is their motive for cheating? I mean,
So you think it was blatant? You don't think it was an obvious mistake?
They gonna probably punish the referees, not coach a couple games. They gonna make sure that this is watched closely next year and go through like classes, make sure that this don't happen again. But they're not gonna change the outcome.
So
and they're not gonna issue an apology.
will they let FPC know, or somebody at the school, like what actually they're gonna do with the officiating if they are in trouble for something, or they don't even let you know?
They will let FPC know, but they ain't gonna write no apology letter.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
They're not gonna do that. Listen, we in the state of Florida. When has the FHSAA did anything to apologize for anything they did?
I mean, why do you keep saying we're in the state of Florida? I feel like we're the biggest high school football
Yeah,
state
we
in
are.
Florida. So if there was any state that would have like media eyes on it, it would be this one.
And we're the
yeah,
best.
we produce a lot of kids that go. Yeah, we produce a lot of kids that go over this.
Our football down there is different than up here. But
So now I understand. You're saying we're in like rural Flagler County. Is that what you're saying?
yes,
So that you
Got
think
you.
it's different than like Miami or something?
100
Yeah.
This could not happen at a game in Miami.
Oh no, that there were definitely.
No.
Okay.
There's big money on those games. People will be running on. They be like, and I'm not trying to get crazy, but there be fights there and stuff like that. It's like,
they be placing bets before the
and
game.
and there's like, and
We're in the wrong business.
I know, right?
And another thing on top of that, there's like the University of Alabama is at the game, looking at a lot of the players on there. There's like University of Florida's there, University of Miami's there,
Right.
You know, so.
Then
But
there's no one watching our game. You don't think
not
that
as,
was a?
not as much.
So they
Definitely
can
not
get
as
away with
much.
stuff like
But,
this.
You know, I'm sure the quarterback had some people there.
Yeah.
It's nothing really Coach Fish or his staff could have did. If they did anything worse, he could have got ejected in the game. That just
Yeah.
would lead to a
I'll-
suspension. So it's nothing
I'll,
they
I'll
could
tell you
do.
this though.
It's the officials.
I'll tell you this though. As a player, I want my head coach to get ejected because
Yeah,
of how mad
he's
he is.
fighting for us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that says something that we're
Yeah.
gonna because
And I'm
I
not
think
putting blame on him,
Spruce
but
Creek's coach would have done that.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're worried about next season. We're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Stop the game.
Yep.
Like, bro,
I would have got
you got to get ejected.
Yeah.
Coach Fish was going through because he had a lot.
He would. Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
He
not
was.
trying
It
to-
was trying to make a split
I'm not trying
second
to put-
decision in 11 seconds. You know.
Yeah, I'm
to
not trying to
figure
put
out
up, too much on there. So
It's too many. Y'all have your opinions, and people shouldn't get offended by opinions because more people have, other people might have the same opinions as you guys. It's an opinion. Is what you see. It's what you see. Is what you know.
No. Yeah.
everybody has
Right.
an opinion.
And there's two sides to every story. Always. There's two sides.
Criticism doesn't hurt either.
No. No. And yeah. And,
And the other side,
Positive and negative.
yeah. In that position, you have to be able to
You
take
better be.
criticism.
Yeah.
If you want to give it, you can take it too.
That's
so
right. You better
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, thank you.
it's a great show, you guys. And
No,
if
thank
y'all
you.
want to talk about anything sports-wise, let me know.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks
Thank
a lot
you.
for calling in.
thanks,
Thank you for
boss.
calling.
Well, did you want to talk about our sponsor one more time before we close?
Yeah, let's talk about the sponsor. It is Transformation Fitness, 386-793-7778, right here in Palm Coast, located at 1070 Palm Coast Parkway, Suite 6.
You guys have anything you want to close with? Mr.
Um,
Jonathan, thank you for coming in. And if
Thanks
you'd
a
like
lot.
to close with anything.
Thanks
let
for
me know.
coming in.
No problem. I was wondering, did you want to talk about that other topic, or do you want to save that for a different show? Or
I think we'll save it for a different show.
okay,
Yeah, because I think we might go to another.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Might take a part two.
All right.
in closing out, definitely want to shout out everybody in Palm Coast. Shout out B section. I want to shout out the Coast Boys. Definitely y'all check out Coast Clothing Line. We're definitely gonna make a comeback, me and Ronnie.
Right.
It reminds me of Orlando Magic.
That's what it. That's
That's
what
what
it's
it
like.
is.
that.
Yeah, I like
That's what
it.
it's like. Yeah, we're gonna do a whole bunch of different ones. With
Yeah.
all
I like
different
that.
places.
Yeah.
Then give shout out to my mom, Stephanie Robinson Matthews. I love you.
Always got to give out the mom the shout
Yeah,
out.
she would've-
man.
she would've been mad.
Always.
But back to the FPC football team. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
Yeah.
you guys, and you guys did really good.
Great job.
Shout out to my class 07. That 06-07 year is still legendary. Still hasn't gotten anybody.
So that's the
past
only
us.
one that's gone to the second round of playoffs at FPC.
As far as I know, somebody can let me know if I'm wrong, but
Oh.
I don't think anyone else has made it past the first round. But yeah, then we won the district championship as well, and it was just a legendary team, and proud to be a part of it. And I'm definitely a part of every FPC team.
Would you ever
moving
consider
forward.
going back there and helping the coaching staff on, with FPC with all of your experience and everything? That would be kind of cool.
You're
The
great
kids,
at it.
Yeah,
I-
the kids
I
would.
You do
appreciate
it.
it. I would, and some of my friends, we talked about it, like Jimmy coaching the offense, me coaching the defense.
Okay.
But the problem
That would
and
be
the-
awesome.
And the reason we keep on losing coaches to Georgia's because they don't
They'll pay
in
it.
Florida.
No, they don't pay anything
You know?
compared to what Georgia's
So,
coaches are making.
We're trying to build up what we got a little bit more before we can come what we consider volunteer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
and then also it's not the same age as when we played, so we would probably get some violations for telling kids that they're sorry.
Yeah.
And shout out Coach Ripley. He was the coach at Matanzas. He was our coach at FPC.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing amazing. He's coaching out in I believe it's Crescent City is where he's coaching at right now. So shout out to him. He's representing for us as well. But
We played Crescent this year. You mean the high school football team?
I believe they're the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my son played them. I think
Yeah.
they beat them this year.
Yeah, it's great. They lost a couple games, but they made it to the playoffs this year. And It's
Yeah.
his first year, so we're really proud of him. But he was coaching at Matanzas, and then he kind of got some complaints because he was kind of rude to the kids somewhat. But it's definitely it's harder to coach nowadays and stuff. Let me ask you this, and I don't want to get into too much of that ladies' call or anything, but how do you feel about coaches yelling at players and stuff as a mom of a kid who plays?
During a game and during practice, I think that's part of the discipline. That's part of playing football. You want to have respectful players that discipline, that are disciplined and that respect you. I've watched so many coaches coach that they don't have the respect of the kids. the stuff that was it had to do with stuff at school. It had nothing to do with even the football team. So, you know, it had nothing to do with it. But, yeah. So, yeah.
And lastly, I'd like to shout out Flagler Weekly. You know, we had Mr. Lowe on our podcast before. I'd like to bring you guys on as well. But, you know, we'd
love
had
to
some
go on.
hiccups.
That'd be
But
great. Thanks.
I'd like to say that we do the food reviews, do business spotlights, interview people. We might do some stuff up here. But it would definitely be awesome. Want everybody who's watching, check out Flagler Weekly.
Nice.
And, you know, we're definitely we're going to be out here. And I love having another podcast. And I'll tell you what, I'm definitely going to talk about this podcast on our podcast. So
That's fine. That's it. We'll share audiences. It's fine.
Just like I was criticizing the coach, and I'm going to criticize you guys too. I'm like,
yeah.
you see what they got going on over there? No, man.
You gotta take it easy on me. It's only my second show. And
Oh, no, we're coming for you.
This,
And I'm making clips too.
Yeah, this was just thrown on my lap, so
Yeah,
we're
but-
learning.
But what I will say is,
and we'll take the hate in with it. It's fine,
what I
whatever.
will say, it's better for the podcast community as a whole. So
Yeah.
like we talk about you guys, you talk about us.
Sure.
Our viewers
And the
come and
crazy
watch
peop-
yours. Your viewers come and watch ours.
The craziest thing is, do you ever hear the comments? Because we started the podcast
Mm-hmm.
now. Well, you're making money off to talk about our topic and all that stuff. And we're like, no, we're just spreading awareness and like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
hot topics in the area, things that go around. No, we're not. We're free. So
Yeah, and I think you know, number one, we would like to make money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
you get good at it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You know,
Yeah.
you get the door. And
I
you-
wish I was making
Yeah,
money off
Right,
exactly.
off our
And
opinions.
I think that's a whole misconception that people have. Like, you're making millions now because you have podcasts. No, you got to work at it. You work
Right.
for free for a while
Long
before
time.
you know anything comes in
And
that may
almost
might-
less than free. It costs money.
Yeah,
It costs
Alan,
money.
yeah,
Yeah.
Alan knows the
Yeah.
expenses.
This
and
didn't get
everything.
here by chance.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. We have like a in-house setup. It's not quite this. I'm very impressed by his setup.
Yeah.
But you know,
Oh, we got to do that clip too, right? You're going to take that out and
Yeah, the Jedi.
very impressed.
I am.
I got to use that.
Yes, definitely.
You know what?
use
I'll
that.
just take the screen, or I'll take your picture that you took of the studio, and I'll send it back. Remember how great this place was?
Yep, definitely, man. So, you know, I feel like it's gonna be a great community, and I'm definitely happy to see you guys doing
Thank
this
you.
and stuff like
Thank
that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
really liking what we're doing, and
love
yeah.
it. Love it.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Appreciate
No
you.
problem.
Hey,
You're
thank you
great.
for coming.
Thank you for
Thanks.
coming.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
What about you, Will? Any last words?
Oh, no last words. It was just a great show, and wow, we had
You take everything in.
yeah,
as it
just
comes.
taking everything as it comes. You
Yeah.
know? It's great.
It's fine.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had a great guest here. And,
Yeah, next
Yeah.
week we're gonna talk about swim safety in Florida, and
Yes.
some stuff happened actually transpired in the community the last couple of days, and
Right.
we're gonna reach out and try to get the GoFundMe set up so
Right.
everybody's aware of what's going on, and we'll be posting everything on my page. So yeah, that'll be our next podcast
Awesome.
next Monday at 7 p.m.
excellent.
on the Hot Take with Christy and Will.
Hot take
Bye,
for Chrissy and Will.
everyone. He is my new co-host, by the way. So
Right,
you have a
thank you,
man's
thank you.
point of view and a woman's. So
That's awesome.
yeah, you always have to have that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the
just
woman's
here.
always right.
Right.
yeah,
of course.
that's true.
I'm just here now.
Well, let's go ahead and end the show. We'll end with our sponsor, and thank you guys for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Appreciate you.